What's going on, my good people? It's your boy Jay Fry. Today we're outside in my small backyard garden where we're going to brainstorm a little bit, see what's out here for us to harvest, and also maybe even plant something. So hang out with your boy for a minute and check it out. Alright, so the first thing we're going to take a look at is the last thing that we planted. The last bed I planted was this bed right here. I did some pole beans. This is my first time doing pole beans. And I kind of knew that this trellis here wasn't going to be enough for these beans. But with all of the rain that we had or whatnot, they kind of just shot up. And I do like the way that the leaves are on this trellis. That looks pretty nice. So I do want to make sure the next spring and the summer that I actually get the proper trellis so I can put these pole beans and some of the other vining things on there. Let's see what else we have growing in this bed. So these are right beside the pole beans. I put in these purple hub peas. These are the pink eye purple hub peas, and they shot up pretty good. Now on top right here I have, this is a 50% shade cloth. I don't know if that's too much or if I've been having on there too long, and if these pole beans are too leggy. I'm not sure. I might take it off today just to see, but I want to make sure that they last as long as possible, at least get as much growth on them as they can. So they're looking good to me. I'm not sure how they're supposed to look, but they look good. And right here in this section I planted lima beans, and not one lima bean popped up, which I'm okay with for now because we did go and purchase some peas. I got plenty of peas stacked up, so I should be okay. But within this I had what is it, this a volunteer tomato popped up right here. Got another volunteer tomato popping up, and maybe one more down there. All of them won't stay, but at least I got 2 volunteer tomatoes just in case the tomato plants that I have start to fall off. And right here on the end, these were my what were these? These were cantaloupe. So I planted some cantaloupe, and I need to start training them to go off the edge of the bed. So yeah, let's see. I'll go ahead and start training these bad boys to go off the edge of the bed like that if they want to stay. Yeah, so this is the last bed that I planted, and I don't know how long I'm gonna leave this shade cloth on there. It may come off today, it may not, but it's been pretty hot. So speaking of shade cloths, if you see this one right here, this is a this shade cloth is a, what is this, a 12 by 8 shade cloth, and I think it's a 70%. But I think this thing right here is benefiting the way some of the stuff is growing. Everything gets a little bit of shade for the most part of the day, and some of the plants that don't get full shade, I can kind of tell that they're struggling a little bit. And speaking of trellises, here's another trellis. I had this trellis set up, and this is the first real use that I've gotten out of this trellis. Last year the cucumbers didn't do too well. They're doing a little bit better right now, and I think it all has to do with being up under this shade cloth. So we got a couple of cucumbers that we're gonna go ahead and harvest. I think this is just a this is the Market More cucumber. We got one right there, maybe a couple more in here. There go one, and one growing. So this side, I think all I did was Market More's. I overseeded, and I went to the other side. They didn't they're taking off pretty slow. So these are the same. They're starting to take off now, so I don't know if they like to be moved. But I do know this trellis as well, I'm gonna have to figure something out, because if I want to do the bigger cucumbers, you see these leaves are a little bit different, and I don't know. Yeah, these might be getting damaged, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to put some string across here to help that continue to grow. But right now, let me go ahead and harvest these cucumbers. All right, so I got a couple of cucumbers harvested. I know this one is ready. This one may not be as ready, but I've harvested a few of them off of here, and I let them get by 5 to 6 inches long. And even at that point, the seeds start to get a little hard. So right now is a good time when these little prickly things that's on there, I think it's good when those start coming off pretty easy. So they are. Got a little bee flying around. Doing this thing, so we looking pretty good. All right, so we got a couple of cucumbers harvested, and if you see, I put some cardboard at the top up there to keep it from rubbing and splitting this shade cloth. And I'm also gonna run some string across here just to help those vine a little bit. So I'm gonna have to work on getting that done a little bit better next year, but right now we're gonna be okay. And in the meantime, we're also trying to plan our fall garden. This bed right here is going to be one of our fall garden beds. This Vigo garden raised bed that I just put together, I'm getting ready to fill it up. So I have one fall garden I'm getting ready to set up. One right here and then one other. But this bed right here, I actually lost control of this bed. I had one of those mesh netting covers over it, and I think I left it open. And the grasshoppers and the worms and everything, I closed them in there and they just went to war. I've already removed some of the other stuff that was really damaged, and I left some just so we could see, but they went to war up in here. This all my kale. The kale got ate up, so I'm going to pull all this up today or the next couple of days, amend this soil. Now what they didn't tear up this chard. The chard still looks good, but I may have to pull it up too, just so I can get this bed ready and start over. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. Same thing with the collard greens. I planted these and they went to work. Now I know collard greens are pretty tough. I could probably leave those in there and see what they'll do, just like with the chard, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to pull it up and start over with these two beds and see if I can get them done the right way. Now I forget what this was. This from one of them purple peas. I think this is a turnip. I think it is, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna pull it up too. I'm not gonna eat that. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I think it was a turnip green. It had to be, but nobody gonna eat that. It don't look familiar to me. And so this bed right here, this might be the third bed that I halfway get prepared for some fall gardening. You can see right here, we're gonna go ahead and harvest some of these red onions. I'm still gonna leave these bunch of onions in here until I get ready to feel like I'm ready to just chop them up and try to preserve them. But right now, I'm not ready to do that because I'm not even ready to start on this bed. And at the end, we'll take a look at it in a minute, but there's my sugar baby watermelons. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and harvest some of these red onions. I think most of them are ready. Came right on up. Hope I ain't leave them in there too long. So that didn't do a whole lot of nothing. Not sure why they're doing it like that. They're real small. And this is the bed where I had a problem with all of the pests and the ants. Not saying it had nothing to do with the way that they grow, but it may have. So these onions didn't really get big at all. They'll get used pretty fast. Probably should have left that one. So I got a handful of nice red onions in here. So I go ahead and start putting these in the I put these in the garage with some of the other onions that I have. Let them start drying. I clean them up first, so we'll leave that right there. We're looking good. I may even plant some more. I got some more onions. I think I'm going to go ahead and plant in another spot. All right, so I got the onions, most of the onions pulled up out of this bed. And like I said, here at the end of this bed, which is the same thing I'm trying to do with the bed next to it, this is where I planted some sugar baby watermelons. And look at there. Got one growing there. I think that's the one I've been seeing the whole time. Then I have another one growing inside of here. Let's let the sun hit it. So that's another sugar baby watermelon. So hopefully one or two of them start to stick. So my sugar baby's coming off. And this is exactly how I did it last year. I planted them at the end of this bed and I just let them come around this end. And that's the same thing I'm gonna do with those cantaloupes. I'll take them off the end and let them come over here. Since I have this space over here that I'm not utilizing too well. So that's what I'm going to do. And right beside it, let's get back over here. It's probably about 9 o'clock, so I am getting sun on this side up under this shade cloth. Right now, my bell pepper, I have 2 bell peppers in grow bags. They get a nice amount of sun. You see that one over there look like it's doing pretty bad. But my bell peppers are starting to bounce back. They looking good. I should be ready to harvest a couple of them after a while. But there's a bunch of them growing. Not as many on this plant. Let me get over here and see. Yeah, this plant right here, it has a nice little old cluster of bell peppers. So I pretty much move these around a little bit because they each kind of have their own struggles. Like I said, this one right here, it seems like it's struggling a little bit. It's growing a little different. That one there is doing this thing. So right here on this side, as you can see, this is where I got my okra planted. It's my spineless okra, some jambalaya, and then in the next row over that we'll get to, I have some okra over there too. But right now, we got one okra that's ready to harvest. That's ready to be harvested today. Let's see if we got another one. I think that's the only one. So this spineless okra, look at the flower that one puts out. Nice little old flower. The spineless okra, it grows pretty fast. I've already pulled a few okras off of this one and none off of the others. Let me go ahead and get this one right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this okra. This is our Clemson spineless. So for me, 1 or 2 okra is fine for right now, because all we're doing with the okra is making okra water. And then, you know, once they get the boom and they're jumping, then we'll start cutting them and freezing them and storing them for next season. And if you're not up on the okra water, you might need to look into it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's got plenty of benefits. So this is another. Those are nice. So I got 2 varieties of okra plants right here. Then right over there, there's another 2 variety. So while we're up under here, these are some shishito peppers. I harvested those last time. Look like they're pretty much ready. I think they say anywhere from 3 to 4 inches. Got shishito peppers. Let's get over here on this side. Sun is hitting. A couple of more shishito peppers. I don't know if they're ready or not, but these are. And then I have my eggplant. So I think these eggplants are ready to be harvested. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and harvest them. Let me set this camera down and we're gonna go ahead and harvest these eggplants. I think we're doing good with the eggplant. So we got three eggplants harvested. I think they're pretty much ready. Now I believe they need to be deep in purple color, so those are really deep. It's not so much at the bottom, so they may be a little bit tough. But I want to go ahead and harvest these so I will know, next time if I can leave them on there a little bit longer. I do have some flowers popping up where we should get a couple of more. So hopefully by cutting those will promote growth. And since we're right here, I might as well go ahead and harvest some of these shishito peppers. Those are not looking too bad. So we got some shishito peppers harvested from right here. Got some eggplants. And this eggplant, since I put it right here, it doesn't move at all. I don't know if you guys noticed. This eggplant doesn't move because I'm utilizing this right here to help hold up this shade cloth that we're up under. So I have that one holding it up. I know I showed you a minute ago, but it was from a distance. And then this one holding it up from the cucumber trellis. So right here, let's see, I have this tomato plant. This is a Roma tomato. And I think it's time to go ahead and trim these bottom leaves. Let me go ahead and clean my shears and get that done. So I got this Roma tomato. This is the first one that I put in the ground. So I got that one trimmed up. Oh, as you can see, I hadn't even attached it to this stick right here to trellis it up. But we got a little tomato growing right there, and maybe even a couple of more. So that one is pretty strong. So I guess the next thing I'm gonna do is I have these Roma tomatoes. You probably can't really see them because of the sun, the way it's hidden. But I got 3 of them in pots. I need to go ahead and pot those. It may be too late, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. Also, that we have pretty much in this up under this shade cloth. It's getting shade right now, but at the end of the day it won't, is our 1 jalapeno tree that we have growing. So I didn't want to harvest any of these. I just wanted to see how well it'll grow, but I have one in there that's turning red, so I'm gonna go ahead and harvest a few of those today as well. Especially the red one. I don't want it messing up the other ones, if that's such a thing. And I guess I'll harvest a few of the bigger ones. Might have to make some salsa or something. That's enough for now. All the rest of them look pretty good, and I don't think it's slowing down the growth. So just a handful of jalapenos for today. The one thing that I'm really having a problem with, there's a couple of things, but this one thing is this row. Mostly this row right here, I tried to plant my squash and my zucchini, and look at here. So we know it's getting ate up. That one is getting ate up. Pretty much all of them. So I hadn't did anything to try to defeat them or nothing like that. But you can see all of the damage. I guess those are called the squash vine borers. You can see all the damage that they're causing. I'm still trying to get some squash out of this one. And what I thought I would do would come in here and plant a couple of more, some of the same varieties, and hopefully by the time they get to the point where I need to start treating them, I can go ahead and order what I needed. But I hadn't done that, so that may be a waste too. And even for this zucchini, so got one nice little old zucchini growing on there, but it's been getting tore up too. It's pretty much damaged. So what I called myself doing was throwing some soil on here, which I may throw a little bit more soil on there, and hopefully they'll catch root and I can still get some nutrients, and I may be able to get at least one zucchini off of there. And we couldn't see it a moment ago, but this is another one of our okra plants. Flowers are looking nice on them. We got the bees out. Now what kind of bug is that? To me it looked like a problem bug. Looks like a problem. I don't feel like messing with it right now. So as you know, I've been trying, everybody tried tomatoes. This is my rainbow tomato plant. Let me get to a point where we can actually see it a little bit. And these leaves have been curling up like crazy. They've been curling up like crazy. I've been trying to take care of it. I don't want to get rid of it just yet. So I'm gonna give it a chance. I hadn't had a chance to put it up under this shade cloth. So that may be a part of it. And also this cherry tomato plant right here. Now this is the one I originally thought I was gonna get rid of, but it keep popping off tomatoes, and it's growing pretty wild. I have it in this is a 7-gallon grow bag, so I think next time I'll do my tomatoes in 10-gallon grow bags. Now back to this. If these don't do well, I'll use this whole row right here, minus where the okra is. But I'll come up and retill this whole row up, and I'll use it for some fall gardening as well. Not sure what I'll put in there, but I'll till it up, add some nutrients to it, and I'll get it ready for a fall garden. So I have like two raised beds, one row in ground, and maybe another half of a raised bed. Back to these squash and these zucchinis. Next year these won't go in the ground. These things will go in grow bags. So maybe that'll help out a little bit better. So now right here behind me, check it out. This is my watermelon patch. Let me grab a stick right here. This is my watermelon patch. So right along here, I planted like some sugar babies. I don't know the other type of watermelon. I think like a cantaloupe or something came up on its own, which is that right there that I'm pointing at. So I don't see any watermelons or nothing just popping out at me right now, but we do have a lot of action here in the AM with the bees, so I know a lot of pollination is going on. So what I'll do is I'll dig in here and see if I find any watermelon. Some of them could, you know, the first watermelons usually rot, so I might need to cut those off. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm not gonna mess with it right now, but that's my watermelon patch. So I know I have a couple of watermelons growing out of my raised bed, and hopefully I have some growing out of this. Now in this bed right here, this bed, I probably need to add a shade cloth over this as well, but I didn't. So this, I also have some bell peppers growing. You can probably see them right there. This one, that one is damaged, but I think it can still be used if I'm not mistaken. Like I can cut that, take this one off, cut that off, and still use it. And they may just be getting damaged from the sun. So that may be the problem with those. But I'm gonna leave them and let them do his thing. And my tomato plants, they getting beat up real bad right here in the sun. But I do, let's see. This tomato is ready. Let's go and get that one. Got some stuff on it, but it's ready. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and harvest some tomatoes while I'm right here. And so this plant right here that I'm harvesting from, this is a determinate tomato plant, so I think it's coming to an end. But let me get these tomatoes out of my hand. So since it is coming to an end, I'll pull that up, and I might even do some fall gardening back here as well. Let it do its thing. So I do have another tomato plant hiding behind these cherry tomatoes. So it's getting pretty much shaded. And this is another Roma tomato. So I did 2 over there in the ground, and I did 1 in the grow bag. And like I said, I think I'm about to add a couple of more in the grow bag. So this thing right here is looking pretty good. So I'm gonna leave it back here where it's at. And I also got a couple of more tomatoes to try and harvest. So a lot of them are already split because of all of the rain that we had. They got too much water, so they're starting to split. And plus, I haven't been coming out here as often as I should because we've been eating a lot of cherry tomatoes. I think everybody pretty much getting tired of them for right now. So these Roma tomatoes, once they start growing and kicking in, that'll be a nice little old change for us. Just real quick, this little old planter right here I got from the Dollar Tree. I planted a bunch of seeds in there just to see what I can get to grow. And this is the only thing that popped up. These, I think this is dill. Looks like dill. So that'll be good. I'm still growing dill. And y'all remember, the same time I planted those peas, I planted these sweet potato slips. So this was my Georgia Jet. Another Georgia Jet. And this is the purple, one of the purple Mirasaki or whatever. Only one of them made it. I planted 3 of them, but the other ones, they didn't make it, but that's all right. And then this was a store-bought that I put in there. I think it's time to water everything. I hadn't watered them in a while. And then, I don't know about y'all, but just like you got a junk drawer in the house, at least I do. I got like a little junk bed. Actually, I got a couple of these where stuff is just growing. Got a tomato plant, another eggplant. And then I don't know what this is. It might be a cantaloupe. And yeah, I know a lot of this stuff you shouldn't even be growing together, but they are. And then these sunflowers, I already harvested one of the sunflowers and got the seeds out of it. This one is almost ready, but I don't think the seeds are going to be big enough. And right here, this is lavender. I need to put this in the ground. Go ahead and put that in the ground and get it out the way. So I got 3 more Roma tomato plants I showed you. I'm gonna go ahead and try to put those in some grow bags. And the way I started making my soil is I do like 2 5-gallon buckets of peat moss and 1 5-gallon buckets of compost, and I'll add everything into it. This right here is vermiculite. I'm just gonna add the rest of that in there. Perlite. All right, so I got my soil mixed up as much as I wanted to. So these are some, what are these? These are 10-gallon grow bags by Vivo Sun. This is the first time I had 10 gallons, so I'm not sure if I have enough soil to fill up 3 of them, but at least we're gonna try to get 2 of them filled up for now. That way we can put these tomato plants in them. So before I get it filled up all the way, I'm gonna go ahead and trim these up. So like I said, it might be too late, I hope not. We got a little tomato form in there, but I think we'll be okay. I'm gonna go down as far as I can. And so I'm just gonna add some tomato tone. I hadn't even opened this one. This is what I use for the tomatoes, the eggplants, and the bell peppers. I pretty much use these for everything like that, even the cucumbers. So I'll make sure to add plenty of this. Then on top of that, I'll add some of this, some bone meal. Probably a little too much, but. All right, so I got my Roma tomatoes planted. I'll go ahead and get those watered in today. So this third one right here, this is a little small one. I'm just gonna put it in a I'm gonna upsize this pot or whatever. I do that later on. But at least I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 Roma tomato plants growing. So that should be enough. And that one would just be a bonus if I can get it to do anything. So right now, so today wasn't too bad. We're right here in the middle of July. Still got a little ways to go. I was able to get a few more cucumbers, some tomatoes, some shishito peppers, jalapenos, 1 okra, some eggplant, and some red onions. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna go ahead and plant some more onions today or tomorrow just to see what I'm gonna get. But right now, this is not too bad, so we'll go ahead and put some with some, make something happen. All right, so we was able to come outside and harvest a few things, get our tomato plants up potted, which is a good thing, and also kind of getting the idea on how much room I'm gonna have for some fall planting. I know I at least got 2.5 beds that I'll be able to use and 1 row of in-ground, and if I need to, I'll just add some more grow bags. So that's always a good thing. I just need to figure out what I'm actually going to plant. And I also took a look at my trellising systems, the way I have them set up, which is not a whole lot. So I do know that next year I'll try to do my trellising system a little bit better so I can have more vine plants, and I think it's also going to beautify the area a little bit more and help with the spacing. So that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys hanging out with your boy. If you like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. I'll holler at you.